Hey there, fella.
Hi.
It seems like some people are checking into the Fat Poppy Slim Poppy podcast.
I think it could be the Slims checking in, or maybe the Fats.
Who knows? Well, I mean, you would know by seeing or listening, because I mean, the fats, you definitely hear them before they come. Pause. But yeah, man. This is episode
12.
12. Okay,
Yeah.
12. We're getting right on to it.
hmm
And by the way, you guys, if you have any suggestions about release days, I was thinking Sunday being a good day, just, a funny podcast for you guys to put on when you're cleaning your house or whatever. But
Or doing your
let us know.
sins on Sundays.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get right
hmm
and then get wrong.
And then get right again.
But God, but speaking
I
of
love
right
God.
and Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, but speaking of right and wrong, this is a perfect transition. I want us to give a couple recommendations about bad, good movies to watch.
I I didn't quite understand the subject when you were trying to send it to me to like think about it because there's so many different ways you could go about these recommendations. Like, are you talking about like a bad movie to recommend for like a Netflix and chill? You know, because then I would be like, yeah, definitely don't put on Mother's Day.
God, I'm just talking about in general. Um, it's funny that you say that. On Netflix, they had a movie that I watched when I was young because we didn't have cable, and it was one of those movies that was like you get 5 or 6 for $20 back in the days at Hollywood Video, and it was called Beer Fest. Now, Beer Fest is not a good movie. It is fucking funny, but it is not a good movie. The storyline is shit. The acting is not much better, but all in all, it is a funny fucking movie. And if you don't take it super seriously, you might actually end up enjoying it. Storyline consists of two guys go to Beer Fest, two Americans go to Beer Fest, try to compete, get their ass kicked, end up figuring out that I guess the king or something of Beer Fest um, knows their grandfather and apparently stole a recipe from the grandfather. Their great grandmother apparently was a prostitute, and they end up finding that out later in the movie. And they just try to go home and learn how to drink beer and play these beer games to go back and compete.
Isn't that the
I
fucking movie where it had the Das Boot shit?
Yes.
And then they were like, "Oh, how the fuck do you drink out of this? Because the end of the drink always fucks everyone up." And then they're like, "Oh, you just turn it sideways."
Just a little.
It's like,
So,
dog, that's
so
all you had to
actually,
do.
actually, if you were just watching the person, just even slightly, probably should have been able to get that. But that also had a great part where they went to go find one of their old friends who was, I guess, on hard times, and they went to a bad part of the city to go pick him up. And he comes up to their car and he's like, "Hey, you guys, how's it going?" "Oh, hey." And he's like, "Oh, I recognize you guys. How's it going? How's everything been?" Start chopping it up for a minute, and then he's like, "Okay, well, that's cool. But boys, this is how it goes. It's about $5 for me to touch your toe, $10 for me for you to touch my toe, $15 for me to touch your toe while I touch my toe. Oops. And then $50 for a ZJ." They're like, "What's a ZJ?" "Trust me, honey. If you have to ask, you can't afford it." That movie's fucking ridiculous. Terrible movie. I actually recommend watching it. Another one that's bad and good to watch is Zombievers. Zombievers is the stupidest plot ever. Um, A bunch of kids go to this log cabin. All the girls are whores. Um, and apparently there's some spill off from a factory, and it causes all the beavers to turn into mutant zombies that are trying to like kill the people there.
I mean, that like one of those movies where it's like it has a small budget and it's just like, oh, this is fucking in the same category as Sharknado and all that.
Yes. I would
Okay.
say it probably has a a lesser budget than Sharknado, but more tits in a movie than I've seen in a long time.
Oh, that's disappointing because I was only watching for the beavers. Hey,
We're in a beaver trap in town. Still is, am I right, fellas?
hell fucking yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Now hold on while I take a leak.
Okay. All right. Mr. Kelly.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to drink to that.
Cheers.
I'm just playing. All right. So, do you have any bad movies that you recommend?
Mamma Mia is a bad movie, and I hate it. And I never seen it, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. Isn't that like the Italian version of My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
I have no fucking idea, man. My mama ain't Mia. Actually,
Pronounced
you know
Maya.
what? I would say that the fucking that old little time of like spoof movies, like the scary movies, date movie, like shit like that was pretty
Date
good.
movie.
Date movie was
movie.
actually good. Then after that, it started like falling off pretty hard.
Very hard. Date movie was promising. After. Okay.
Yeah. I guess honestly, as I don't know if people would say it'd be a bad movie, but I wouldn't say it's like no fucking Oscar winning movie. The fucking National Lampoon's Van Wilder. That's
That's a
not.
classic movie for me.
It's hella funny, but when you compare it to like other movies, it's just like it's just another National Lampoon movie, you know.
I get it.
But
No.
I highly recommend it. And there's movies that I love that my girl doesn't like Hot Rod.
Oh, that movie is fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah,
She
she
said,
hates
"Get in the
that.
car. You look like a Mexican butthole." I was like, "Oh my god!"
I do not remember that line. And I
You would-
fucking watched the hell out of that movie.
Cause you remember, no, fucking, I'm getting that movie mixed up with another movie.
You're thinking of Sex Drive.
Sex Drive. Hot
Yes.
Rod is a bad movie, but it is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
The
I think
storyline,
they intentionally made it a bad movie.
yeah,
Like they were
Story-
trying to have that vibe.
yeah, and that's just a sample.
White Chicks, is a bad movie, but I don't know. It's kind of hard. There's like a weird gray area when you're saying it's bad but good. Because let's be honest, in White Chicks, like there's some bad parts in there.
Yeah, but I mean, kind of make up for it once you have white girls singing 50 Cent.
Yeah,
That was
Well,
pretty fucking.
Terry Crews, he was like one of the main characters out of that movie. Or at least, like, to me, it's like he was the main reason why I was watching that movie. Just him saying, like, the stupidest shit from time to time. Like, when I guess the brother in that movie, when he was trying to talk to his other brother while it was in disguise, he's like, oh, shit. He goes up to the girl, was like, my brother, you got to get your own.
That shit is class. Lottery Ticket is a bad movie.
Oh, my girl references that movie a lot. 'Cause
Pretty funny. I'm
'cause
broke,
whenever-
nigga, I'm broke.
when everyone finds out that he, won the lottery, and everyone's like, oh shit, and then the hood rat is like, I want to have your baby.
Can't lie. When I first watched that movie, there was a little jump that may have happened. It was like, goodness gracious. Something in my pants is jumping over hurdles.
God. My girl, every once in a while she'll make that reference. I want to have your baby. I was like, you already have one. So
Said, go in the room. Said, oh yeah, yeah, and turn to the left. She's right there. But yeah, I was thinking about some stuff for the podcast, and thought I would share a quick little story because I think everybody's first like real job is always weird and out of pocket. And I have some strange stories from my job. I worked a couple of different jobs when I was younger, but my first real job was at Denny's. And just for context on how crazy this Denny's was, I worked there for 9 months. Within that time, my first week, I caught the general manager like making out, gripping up on one of the waitresses.
noise.
Then I get to talk to from another manager just saying to keep it quiet because
And here
they
you
don't
are.
want to get in they don't want to get in trouble. And the lady was married as well with
Oh
kids.
man, perfect.
And
Yeah, just spill all of it. Here, I'll get a bucket for all the beans.
God, spilling it. So they were messing around for a long time, and it was so out of pocket because it would be like, okay, they were just messing around, like kissing, hanging out, whatever. And then next thing you know, here comes in her husband, and he's bringing their two kids to come sit down and eat at Denny's and hang out with their mom for a minute. And I'm like, damn, hoes are not loyal. Make the story even worse, I guess she must have had the killer snatch, as the youngins call it.
Yeah,
Because
because all the kids on the playground are like, man, she had a killer snatch.
did you see that snatch?
That's what snatch be killing.
Ooh, you be killing them. But she asked the manager, whatever the dude that she's fucking with, side dude, to borrow some money, because she needed to get a car. So he's over here flexing and whatever. He's like, I got you. Gave her a large amount of money so that she could put it down to buy a car. She ends up coming out with like a nice truck. Come to figure out, she said she was going to pay him back within a couple of weeks. He took the money out of the safe at work to pay her. And she did not pay him back and told him to leave her alone.
Damn.
Yes. So he ends up getting fired. Well, he was about to get fired. Ends up quitting before he gets fired. So that way his, looks a little better. And apparently it was a couple $1,000s.
Oh, just a couple,
Just a
regular
couple thousand.
degular.
Then comes in another general manager, white lady. Apparently, she's from a family of skinheads. Now, her husband did something. Her husband was a skinhead. He was involved. So, when another skinhead was getting out of jail, he made sure that he got a job. So, I'm 18 years old. There's this guy who did 14 years for armed robbery. Racist white dude gets hired the day out of jail, and I'm working with him. Sounds pretty crazy, but we actually, he would talk shit to me and I'd talk shit to him back, and I just didn't take his shit. And he, on multiple times, told me I was his favorite black person, which, coming from a racist person, still doesn't feel very good.
Yeah. You're my favorite black person, which is like my least favorite white person.
he's like, you're my favorite black person. I'd have you like as a friend on like Facebook, but no, I can't do that because if they knew I talked to you, it's like, God. He would always say some wild shit. He'd be like, "Oh man, you know what? You're good. You're a good guy. Like you're good people. I mean, couldn't be with one of my daughters, but you're still a good guy." Like, fuck. So this place was crazy dysfunctional. I was busboy. Did a little bit of everything. Sometimes I'd literally be cooking. Sometimes I'm helping waiting tables. Sometimes washing dishes. Like whatever. So one of the days, I'm just chilling in the front. It's super slow, and my manager gets a call, and apparently the person hangs up, and he has to go do something. So the person calls back. I answer the phone. Dude with the craziest Keek the Sneak Coke Fiend voice hops on the phone. And I will remember this to this day. Although this shit is like 9 years ago. This man was like, hey, hello? I'm like, yeah, this is Denny's, yada, yada, yada. And he ends up telling me, he's like, I wonder if is there a manager there? Because something happened today when I came in to get some food this morning that was not okay, and I need to discuss it with the manager. And I was like, actually our manager just stepped away, but if there's any way I can help you, like more than happy to help you out. And he's like, yeah, just I went to go grab something to eat this morning, and there was something in my eggs that wasn't supposed to be there. So my curiosity springs, young 18-year-old, and I ask him, I was like, really? What happened? He's like, well, you see, I went there this morning, and I'm a very busy man, I got a lot of stuff to do, always busy on the run, and stopped there to get some food because, you guys got good food. And I'm like, I guess. But he's like, you guys got good food, so I stopped over there. I'm like, all right. He's like, so I ordered my food, and I was like, did the waitress say something mean to you or something? He's like, no, the waitress was fine. But she kind of just she took my order and then left, and then took a long time, and she finally came back. I'm like, okay. He's like, then when she gave me my food, there was shit in my eggs. And I'm like, because I'm like, I knew the place had rats. I'm like rat poo, like pest poo, like what the fuck? He's like, no, man, there was a turd in my eggs. I'm like, still in awe. I'm like, yo, let me get this straight. So, like, you think this, like, you're like, I'm like, so it's not like a pest, like it's fucking like you think it's like a big rat turd or something like that, trying to like make sense of it, right?
Like, I said what I said.
And he's like, nah, man, this shit damn near went across the whole entire plate. Ain't no rat turd. I'm like, yo, all right. Well, here comes my manager. Manager goes through the same spiel. My manager gave a little less of a fuck because he really straight up, like when the guy was telling him, he's like, how long of a turd was it? And the guy's like, yo, it
Edge
was
to edge.
He said, dog, there was a tree trunk on my eggs. God. Fucking tree trunk on his egg. Right? And by this time, we're like, hold on. We both just fucking laugh, right? Right? This dude fucking is tripping. And he's like, there's a fucking tree trunk on the egg. And then, all right, okay, well, like, what do you want us to do about it? He's like, I'm calling just to let you guys know. And I'm like, we're like, okay, well, this is serious. And what did you do? He's like, well, you gotta understand, I'm a very busy man. I was mad. And we're like, you didn't, like, he's like, do you remember who served you? Um, Nobody else in the restaurant noticed that this lady in this busy restaurant in the morning served you eggs with a big old turd across a fucking plate. And he's like, no, nobody noticed. And we're like, okay. Well, did you say anything to anybody? And you know what is well, now you gotta understand, I'm a very busy man. I was busy, so I was like, oh man, there's a tree trunk in my eggs, so I decided I'll call later. We're like, okay, sir. We're gonna have to look on the cameras. Very sorry that this happened to you. And you know what he said? Oh man, it's fine. I just thought it was crazy because I was like, man, there's something in my eggs that ain't supposed to be there.
Just a little something. I was like, wait a minute. I didn't order sausage. I ordered bacon.
He said, the turd went all the way across. He said somebody really took a shit in the middle of the plate. He said he only ate the pancakes. And I'm like, dog, you're telling me this nigga you got shit in your eggs and your pancakes is on the same plate, and you just decided, fuck it, let me just push this off real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? This nigga said, well, I mean, pancakes ain't never done nothing wrong to me, so, you know what I'm saying? I'm just about to this nigga so stupid.
That's just chocolate. Chocolate pancakes. Oh,
that
damn.
nigga had me fucking dying. So, yeah, workplace story. Do you have any interesting workplace stories that you might want to talk about?
I'm gonna say no for right now because the ones that I think of are it's a little much.
Hold on, sir. You're telling me nobody that you worked with ever decided to take a shit
No.
in somebody's food and walk up and hand it to them?
I mean the stuff that happens to me isn't at work. I mean, I went on an out of town job and I fucking roomed with this one dude, and just like he was just a quiet dude, chill, never had any problems with him. But the thing is, it's the quiet people that always like seem to trip you out. Because I came in the hotel room one day and it smelled like a little petting farm in our room. I'm like, what?
All right, wait. Hold on. We need some context here. What hotel was it? You staying at DoubleTree?
No. I think it was like Best Western or a step up from that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I walk in, smells like a petting zoo in there. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then
I haven't been to a lot of petting zoos.
Lights on, and I hear like some noises coming from there. And I open it up. Yep, my coworker bought a chicken and cooked it in our bathroom. And then when we're on our way back to town, he just threw it in the back of the truck. And just like, okay, not really going to ask about this. Going to leave that one where it's at.
Got it to choke it. I'm sorry. So you were like, you didn't have to take a piss like any time during that, and like
after that, you just like, no, I'll hold it in for the rest of the
week. I don't know what I would do if I was like,
I ain't gonna pull my cock out when the cock's already out.
As a fucking chicken.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Like shit like that happens to me off the clock than on the clock. I'm very like boring in that sense. So
Okay. I mean, that's. I mean, you gotta give yourself a little credit. That's still pretty wild.
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I would do. Just fucking randomly saw that. Um, I remember at work, I worked at this really nice, um, really nice steakhouse, one of the top steakhouses in the area. And I remember one day, there's this guy who I'm not even gonna say his name, but we'll just call him Brian.
Oh God,
So Brian,
Brian crying.
special guy that he was, yeah, he was crying this day. He Brian worked the grill. Now there was kind of our walk-in where they dry aged the steak and everything like that. It was around the corner from there, and there was a door there. You could open it up. The door was propped open. Now Brian had been cooking and ran out of steak, so he had to go to the room, the dry age room, to try to get something else. So he went to the room, or was trying to run to the room, gripped his hand on the corner to make sure they had traction. Now, the only problem about this was he did that, and his finger was in between the door and the wall.
Hmm.
Now, he completely tore off the tip of his finger, and
Ow.
I am just starting to work there. Like, just, I've been there for like 2 weeks. It's a little more of an extensive menu than I'm used to. So I'm like, it's like it. Brandon just ripped off his fucking finger.
You mean Brian?
Brandon, what's the difference? Anyways, so I'm like, wow, this guy just fucking ripped off his finger. Like, what the fuck? So my chef's freaking out. Oh, what the fuck? He's like, dude, like, I see the fucking bone. What the hell happened? He's like, I don't know, man. I was just like running around the corner, and I don't know. I think I like broke off a piece of my finger. We're like, yeah, you definitely did. Um, Everybody else is freaking out. Me, it's still busy. I'm working desserts and all different types of shit, so I'm not as worried. Sound like an asshole right now, but I'm not as worried about said problems. I'm kind of trying to focus and make sure that my shit is good. So,
I'm just trying to find a little fucking lighter for the creme brulee.
yo, facts, which was fucking a pain in the ass. But so I'm going to the back actually to go grab a creme brulee.
Wow.
And everybody's like, dude, where the fuck is this guy's finger? They're getting him ice, they're getting him everything. And I'm like, hey guys, his finger's actually stuck here in between the door and the wall. Just completely stuck in the corner. You may want to grab this, put it on ice, make sure it's not directly in contact with the ice. Get the fuck out of here. I'm literally saying that to the chef, like I'm the fucking boss, but whatever. And the people in that kitchen gave such a little fuck and roasted everybody at every chance that they could get. They're like, oh man, he put one in the stink and two in the pink, but the pink was red. It's like, oh god. They instantly started calling him Stubby.
And then
they're
that's
like,
when he gives them the finger.
they're like, it's okay. And now when you're fingering a girl and she says, ow, it hurts, you could be like, yo, okay, I'm going to hit you with 1.5.
Nice.
This nigga said, how many fingers do I got? Like, this nigga got a decimal in his finger count. I was like, oh my God. He said he had a decimal.
His girl's like, well, he tried to give me the shocker, but it was more like, Eh. It
Playful surprise.
was like, oh, birthday surprise. Oh, it's not my birthday.
They were constantly trying to roast people there. And I remember for the first couple of weeks, I didn't say anything. But I had a friend that worked there. He just constantly was talking shit. And even got to a point where my chef's like, yeah, dude, you could pop some shit back. So one day I'm hustling and bustling, trying to grab something. And one of my coworkers said something to me. And I turned and told him, shut the fuck up. Your mom sucks dick for money to pay for a true ambition of eating ass.
And his response?
Everybody in the fucking back of the house started dying. And my chef made that person cook me some food because he said I roasted him so hard that he could just cook now. Funny other thing working at that place. All restaurants and all the places I've worked at been a little different, but another thing that happened at that place, we were all getting ready for dinner service, and all of a sudden, one of the front of house managers comes up and he's like, "Hey, you guys, look what I just found! Brand new iPad." And he's like, "I want to tell you guys exactly what happened, so you don't think anything about it." And he's like, "Besides the point, I'm gay." And we're like, "Okay, like what the fuck does that have to do with anything?" And we told him, we're like, "What the fuck does that have to do with anything?" And he's like, "Well, you'll see." So he's like, "So obviously the iPad's there. We found it in the bathroom. We don't know whose it is." So he's like, "So I click the iPad to see if maybe there's a picture or something. I could match it up and give it to the person who owns it." So he's like, "So I click and there's no picture and there's no password. So it automatically takes him to the home screen." And he's like, "Okay." So he's like looking to see if there's anything to give any sort of kind of clue. Of course not. There's no applications, anything on this fucking iPad.
Not
That
even a
was in the
screensaver?
no screensaver, no applications, no Facebook, no nothing. So he's like, okay, he's trying to make sure to get it back to the right person. He's like, so the only thing I could think to do was to go look at the pictures. Hopefully I see a picture of them and I can, give it back to whoever owns it, because I could just be like, hey, this is this person's face. Oh, I think you left this here. So goes in, no pictures, only videos, 247 videos.
Oh, God.
Now goes and clicks the video, and you see this person holding a phone. All you see is like collarbone, and then she starts walking away. It's a naked fucking lady, and there's her dude sitting in a chair across from her, and she just starts shaking her ass, showing her pussy, and ends up giving this guy a blowjob. And there was just tons and tons of videos of this girl fucking this guy. And she left it in the fucking bathroom, and everybody's like, dog, like this lady wanted to be found out, because first off, like, why would there's nothing else on that iPad. You have no applications, you have nothing. You know what that iPad was for. That was a fucking iPad.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, let me just delete all the information on here that leads to me. Just have these videos, and I'm gonna just leave this here, and whoever finds it, good for them.
Yeah. The fucking guy was hella funny. He's like, "Yep, this completely confirms that I'm gay." And we're all we're all laughing, and all of a sudden 30-40 minutes later, apparently a lady comes up and she's like, "Hey, did anybody find anything in the bathroom?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I found an iPad." And she's like, "Oh, really? Did you guys go through it?" And he's like, "No, it's personal information. We wouldn't do that." It's like, we clicked it, saw there wasn't a screensaver, and just called it at that. And end up figuring out that that lady was invited over to eat with her husband by one of the contractors that actually works on the building.
Mm.
So it was like, it's like, yo, you couldn't handle it. You just decided, hey, fuck it, man. I cannot get through the rest of this day without diddling myself in the fucking bathroom of a steakhouse.
If you have 200 and something videos of the same fucking thing, yeah, I would say that that person is just like they have some urges that they can't suppress.
Yeah, this lady was getting.
You guys are. I hope you guys washed your hands after touching that iPad.
I mean, I clicked the buttons with my nose, and then I tried to touch my tongue to the tip of my nose. Let's just say not all things work.
Well, you're just not trying hard enough.
Good. Well, that lady was trying hard enough, I'll tell you that much.
Wait, did you see the face?
No, I just seen her shake her ass and pull her ass apart and vagina and blow a guy very vigorously. She was trying to make it seem like she was doing something, but it was a lot of moving head, and she's not really getting on it like that.
It's like, not like how Chandra did it.
Yeah, her neck game seemed a little whack. We'll just say that.
Yeah. At least
I mean, after you get that neck, you gonna say thank you next. Well, I don't know who sings that song, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, fucking girl, Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah, I don't know what she looks like, but I hear that she's attractive from white people, which is 50-50 whether she's actually attractive.
I mean, I don't know. I don't listen to Ariana Grande like that, and I don't really pay attention to her. But yeah.
Yeah, me either. And you know, I'm in a committed relationship, and black men don't cheat. And that's just the way life is.
I know she's a huge fucking artist, though. You know, fucking
everything. Oh, she's chubby.
She's one of the fats.
Okay. I'll check in. Just, I'm tuning in.
Out. See what it's about.
Hey, man. Sometimes you got to support your local artists.
Yep. Shit, man. I was going to fucking bring up something, but I can't fucking think right now.
It's fine. I mean, after hearing about, you know, shit talks and things like that.
All right. So, tits or ass? I don't know.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
So, come on, we all know the answer to that. There's only one right answer, and
it's both.
Everything else is wrong. And you didn't even come on, dog. You didn't even incorporate feet.
Okay, well, let's bring up that you fucking sent me a fucking video of you in the car having a fucking a foot donut.
Now let me bring up some context. I was at work. I was having a bad day. I get to work. None of the product that I fucking need is ready. So I am literally just sitting there waiting. And I go into the office to get the last of my paperwork and end up realizing, hey, I guess it's somebody's birthday or something because they have donuts. And donut holes. Grab a couple donut holes. Fucking look in the box.
I love donut holes.
Oh, I love donut holes.
Donut holes are the best.
Look into the box and realize, hey, there's a very familiar shape that I'm very fond of. I think that's a foot donut.
It started glowing. I'm like, hey there.
Give
me.
I had to take a video, send it to. Well, first, all right, let me begin. I took 2 videos. The first one was for the general public, and I sent it to you. And I was like, hey, guys, I'm over here, and I found this motherfucker looking over here, looking all good and shit. Look at this motherfucker. Oh, I got a foot donut. Oh, he was a nasty bitch. And then I had another video that was specific for the fiance. Had to send that to her, of me just sucking the glaze off of a couple of the toes.
Fucking nasty. Putting your tongue between the toes.
Yep, I definitely did.
Yeah, and I had to show that to my girl. I was like, look at this nasty ass.
She's like, "Yep, he gets 1 cup."
Yep.
And
Why
it's
is it
styrofoam.
on a Dixie plate?
Actually, all I have is paper plates, nigga. You got to drink from that.
Why does he have it on the floor? Why is he looking down on it?
So, I think this is an old dog bowl.
Why is he wearing a dog collar?
Yeah. I mean, it is Tuesday. I'm just
Oh god. Man. Is there anything going on in the world right now? I'm so fucking like out of touch with everything.
Nothing too major that I've heard recently. Unfortunately, everything's been kind of calm.
No like crazy memes going on.
Craig Smith recently asked people to roast a picture of him and this other guy that were 2 light-skinned dudes, and they're kind of like back-to-back posing in a picture. And I seen that they posted that up this morning, so I threw my hat in the ring, and I roasted Craig Smith. I was like, Craig and his homie was like, okay, let's go cheek to cheek for this one.
Damn.
I was like, you piss yellow ass nigga. Why this nigga over here look like Chance the Rapper in the face? That nigga loved the fuck out of his wife. And then proceeded to say that his friend's nose was so big that he snorts lines with traffic cones.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And yeah, just had to leave it at that. He didn't get back to me.
I'd be like, where'd you get that shirt? The toilet store? Roasted.
The best one.
Don't fucking see me.
So apparently Infamy wants to hop back on the podcast. We do have his cousin who also wants to hop on the podcast. He's not really his cousin, but he does want to be.
I'm down for that.
And they've both been hitting us up.
Shit, man. Whenever we can make that happen, I'm down.
Sure enough. But anyways, do you got anything else you want to talk about, or you think it's about time to wrap it up for this episode?
I think it's good. You know, we can wrap it up.
You know, you saying that just hurts my soul. I feel like we have something else to talk about now.
I say things that I don't believe in.
I ain't wrapping anything up ever. I did talk to one of my managers at work. He thought I was being a little wild because at my job they kind of shrink wrap a lot of the towels and like loose stuff for like restaurants or specials, anything that needs to be like counted specifically. They kind of like shrink wrap and things of 25 or 50. And this one guy's like, oh yeah, Devontae, can you pass me that? And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately I'm allergic to latex, any form of plastic, also allergic to, and I'm vegan, so lambskin doesn't work for me. And he's like, oh really? Oh shit, let me get this away from you. And my boss just started dying. Just like, dog, you can't play jokes on people that don't get it.
Oh damn!
Like, okay.
Lambskin. I should probably get this out of my pocket.
Just God. I'm like,
oh,
yeah,
let me
so
spit this out real quick. It's like, what?
Yeah. All right, man.
Well, so wait, hold on. Before we wrap it up, you just
wait. You're offending me again,
sir.
Better choice of words,
sir. Before we end the podcast,
okay.
Before we slide the condom on the podcast.
Ah.
Oh, you just made me think about another person that, we
From
always
a
have
grunt.
coworkers that we have coworkers that they're cool, but sometimes they make you kind of tilt your head and be like, "Wait, what the fuck did you just say?"
I'm normally that guy.
Well, this guy that I was talking to yesterday, me and a group of coworkers all talking about his car situation because it was overheating and got talking
Ah,
about
damn.
coolant, right? And, some people say that, you should buy the right coolant for your car because of whatever. And we're arguing, like one person saying like, oh, it doesn't really matter. They're just trying to freaking do whatever to make you pay for a more expensive coolant. And then this dude that I was talking with, he was like, yo, like from what I heard is each coolant has like a different boiling point. But like, who am I, man? Like, I ain't trying to fucking boil this shit. What? I was like, dead
He said, "Y'all."
serious. I was laughing
Y'all.
and he was still having a serious face. He's like, I'm serious, bro. I'm not trying to boil this shit. I'm like, oh, God.
He's like, I'm serious, dog. I don't. Some niggas really boil their coolant.
That shit ain't cool because it's boiled.
That nigga said it's hot. It's hot, ain't it?
I don't like funny jokes.
Shit. Okay. Since you're bringing that up, I don't think they know about that, but it's something we'll have to start up in the next episode. So this has been episode 12. Let us know what you think, man. We're dying to hear some feedback. I'm already starting to hear a little bit of feedback right now. Love to hear more from you guys. And yeah, even if you're interested in being a guest or something like that, get in contact. Leave some messages. Might get back to you. You have any ideas on things? Let us know.
I would say, if anything, kind of questions. Shoot that
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, about 12 inches flaccid.
I mean, I got nothing. I thought I could say something funny, but yeah, it's the truth. 12 inches flaccid.
God, don't fucking confirm. Don't confirm. I don't need you to confirm that for me. On that note, we're out, man. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace.
Bye.